Welcome back to Springfield. Tim Butler, state representative from the 87th district. I live here in Springfield, and I'm very happy to have our colleagues come back to my city today to do what we're supposed to do and meet in General Assembly in the seat of government. And so I'm happy to welcome people back in a tremendously safe and healthy environment, and we look forward to having everybody back in town. Today we wanted to talk about the idea that we believe that the General Assembly should take an up or down vote on the governor's Restore Illinois plan. I sent a letter to the governor on Monday calling that out, asking for him to accede to having a vote in the General Assembly on his Restore Illinois plan. I have yet to hear anything back from the governor's office as far as response to the letter per se. On May 4th, 16 days ago, the House Republicans forwarded the framework of a plan to the governor, and it was a good framework. It was the day before the governor actually announced his Restore Illinois plan. He didn't give us any heads up nor really ask for any input on his plans, even though Leader Durkin had reached out to the governor to ask for that very thing. We have yet to have a response to our proposal. It was a good proposal. It was a framework, but it was based off some good ideas that we formulated from the House Republican Caucus, including more regions across the state, more input from locals, more input from local health departments, and things like that. Yesterday, media reported in Illinois that a study had been released showing Illinois has the most restrictions under this pandemic of any state in the nation. We've been on lockdown basically since March 21st, which will be, it's 2 months now since the governor announced his stay-at-home order on March 20th. We were one of the first states to go on lockdown, and now we have the most restrictions in place. When we're asking for a vote on Restore Illinois, we believe we need to have the General Assembly have a voice in this. The General Assembly has had no voice in this whatsoever. We think the governor needs to come to the General Assembly and help craft plans because we frankly don't believe his Restore Illinois plan is right. I see that the state is passing up the governor on a daily basis. You have areas across the state, suburbs, Rockford, Adams County, Peoria area, Madison County, Christian County, Clark County. They've all taken action to do their own plans or move forward on their own. I've talked to so many business owners, so many local officials, so many people in the 87th district for the last 2 months about the plan that they want to reopen safely, and they know how to reopen safely. I went to talked to at a meeting in Petersburg last week with business owners and concerns about their businesses shutting down. I talked to a restaurant owner here in Springfield, a very well-known restaurant, who plans to open up next week because it's past time for them to open up. We need to have more input from local officials. We need to have more input for the General Assembly. We need to have more input overall, and we haven't seen that out of the governor so far. So with that, I'm pleased to turn it over to our Deputy House Republican Leader, Dan Brady.
Thank you, Tim, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. If there's one thing this virus has reinforced is that Illinois, from top to bottom, is a very unique state. Milwaukee County in Wisconsin has over 4,500 COVID cases. McLean County, which I represent, has 189. Chicago's 40 miles closer to Milwaukee than Bloomington. Yet Milwaukee is open for business, and Bloomington in my district, especially in small businesses, remains closed. We need a much more localized approach that will be based on data with decisions made by local officials. That's what families, laid off workers, businesses in my district that I hear from on a daily basis. Much like any of my colleagues on whatever side of the aisle, the constituents want to reopen. They want our economy to come back to life and have that opportunity to come back to life. And they want to do it in a safe manner, and a manner that keeps in mind the health and safety of their friends and neighbors. That's what we're asking for. Together we can get that done. We're willing to work with the governor to do that. We've sent plan after plan, clear back to April 10th, when the House Republicans first came up with their first plan of the things we want to see if we can get back to Springfield. We're back to Springfield, and we're willing and ready to do the people's work in a fashion that represents all of Illinois, but focuses in on the unique difference in certain sections of the state. Thank you.
Thanks, Leader Brady. This is Ryan Spain, State Representative from the 73rd District, and I live in Peoria. It's great to be back in Springfield. Thank you to Leader Butler for welcoming us all back. I'm here at my office at the Stratton building right now, looking out at the Capitol and looking forward to the work that we need to do and the work that we should have been doing for quite a long time now. I mentioned that my hometown is Peoria, and a lot of people don't know about Peoria, that at one point we were providing over 50% of revenue to the federal government for the federal budget based on the distilling business that took place in Peoria. And it was really what grew our community into prominence. And then that economy was shut down overnight in an instant due to prohibition. And so in Peoria, we've had to reinvent ourselves a number of different times, transitioning from distilling to heavy equipment manufacturing, and now to healthcare. And luckily for our community, we have one of the strongest healthcare delivery systems anywhere in the state and even anywhere in the country. And this outstanding healthcare capacity has positioned our region to be uniquely capable for moving forward with a safe and effective regional reopening strategy. Several weeks ago, our community sent our plan for a regional reopening to the governor and to the Illinois Department of Public Health, and we have received no feedback. And this is very unfortunate, and really is what encourages us to call for a vote on the governor's Restore Illinois plan today. Because in Peoria, what we're doing is we're using the data, we're listening to the scientists, the epidemiologists, the healthcare professionals that have developed our regional reopening plan. And what they're telling us is that the metrics, even the very metrics that are included in the governor's Restore Illinois plan, have been met and exceeded on over 30 days now in the Peoria region. And so it is, as Leader Brady pointed out, a reflection of the different diversity, different strengths, and really the different realities that we're seeing as we all work to battle COVID-19 and battle to keep our economy salvageable. And so Peoria has submitted a regional plan, and we have not received feedback from the governor. And as I said, this is incredibly disappointing for a governor that has said he's following the data and the science. Well, we're doing the same. And if we're not allowed to have meaningful input into the governor's version of a Restore Illinois plan, a regional reopening plan for the entire state, then we need to allow smaller subregions to have their own plan and manage the conditions that they see and work with their own local health professionals, public health staff, and other experts. And so all of these things need to be coming together right now. And since they're not, we are seeing the frustration of business owners, of childcare providers, of restaurants who look at the prospects of another 6 weeks before they could resume their activities, while other places in our country are moving forward and managing to do two things at once, two very important things: continue to battle the coronavirus and continue to rebuild our economy and do it in a way that is safe, effective, and responsible. And that's what we're calling on the governor to consider, to accept amendments, to have an engagement in a real deliberation with legislators from throughout the state as we all bring our unique perspective and local experiences forward to craft a plan that can be better than where we are right now. It is our hope and it is our urging that we take a vote on the governor's Restore Illinois plan this week in Springfield. And with that, I would like to turn to my friend, Representative Mike Marin.
Thank you, Representative Spain. Good morning, everybody. I am Representative Mike Marin. I represent the 104th District, which includes Vermilion and Champaign counties. For well over a month now, I've been bringing to attention the unacceptable situation at the Illinois Department of Employment and Security and the frustration that myself and my staff have felt as we've been helping constituents, hundreds of constituents, get the relief promised to them by the state. The constituents that we help every day are business owners that have been shut down by the governor's executive order and their employees. Many of the people hurt the most in this situation were living paycheck to paycheck. And each day they grow more frustrated about the failures at IDES, inhibiting them from receiving vital relief. Many of the business owners I talk to are great people, salt of the earth, hardworking people that have sacrificed their entire adult lives to do what it took to build a successful small business. And I don't know of any small business, no matter how successful, that can go through 2 entire months without revenue. Yet these hardworking Illinoisans followed along with the governor's request to shut down and stop working because they believed that they were doing the right thing. All of them have paid a terribly high personal toll, and the relief promised to them by the governor has not come through. This is absolutely unacceptable. We are 2 months into this shutdown, and still today, most of our constituent calls involve abject failure at IDES. We are over a week into the PUA assistance becoming available, and that system is a total wreck. The portal continues to kick people out of the system who should be receiving benefits, claiming that they are ineligible. And of course, there is nobody there that anybody can talk to, a live person, to actually help them work through the system. The IDES failure is shocking, and I've had enough of our governor not taking the rest of Illinois' concerns seriously. Our concerns matter, and we deserve the right to have our voice heard locally on when it is best for our respective areas to move forward. On a call with IDES 2 weeks ago, the department told us that they were not interested in hiring temporary employees to help with the backlog and to get things under control, because they were worried that they would have to lay off those temporary employees in a couple of weeks. I could not believe that mindset, but yet it completely explains why we continue to see failure from that department. There are roughly 1 million unemployed Illinoisans, maybe more, that became recently unemployed that I'm sure would love to have a paycheck for a couple of weeks. Our leaders have a responsibility to see to it that the IDES system works and that the benefits that were promised to people who now have no income because of the decisions of one man are available. Regardless of the volume of people or the challenges that are caused by COVID-19, the governor should commit the resources to get this problem fixed. He needs to admit that there's a problem and bring in the people to help fix it. Anything short of this is an abject failure, and it's a disgrace to our citizens. When we start planning on how we're going to pull ourselves out of this mess, I don't think it's responsible for us to leave it all up to one man, the one man who helped create the current mess in addressing the crisis. The governor had an opportunity to do politics differently than his predecessors. He had an opportunity to engage the legislature, engage local leaders, local health professionals, and the people who are working collaboratively across the state to try to figure out these momentous challenges. Instead, he overpromised, he politicized the situation, and he failed the most vulnerable in our state. We ask for an up or down vote on the Restore Illinois plan. Thank you.